So it's Empire Wars. I think both players are familiar with it. AR12 loves it. Ant-Man is probably less experienced with Empire Wars as a whole. So I'm favoring AR12 already. It's Magyars, Vikings, both solid civs. Imagine Vikings. You get handcart, no sorry, wheelbarrow right away. Fantastic boost for your eco, whereas Magyars get forging instantly for their melee and cavalry units. So I'm AR12 going straight into the stables here. We are live. And some preemptive walls from the Ant-Man already, expecting the Magyar scouts to come his way. Spears at the ready as well, already reacting nicely here. First game is Empire Wars all corner, not the rest of them. It's just a switch up in the typical settings. Airtroll with a little bit of scouting, he dodged some spears over here, but it's not really... well, he's waiting for more scouts, I guess. Just chilling. Causes some idle time there though, so that's not bad at all. Ant-Man over with his scout as well. AR12 with the spear at the ready. Maybe this comes with Empire Wars, I'm honestly not sure. But deals some damage at least, and the eco situation seems similar, but that's also deceiving considering that the Ant-Man, he is Vikings. He gets more resources per trip for the villagers. I took the hope my voice isn't too loud now. I just adjusted a little bit for the overall sound for myself as well. We have a run in the middle. That's AR12 Scout with forging, chasing this very weak Viking Scout. Looks like Ant-Man is able to keep it alive though. AR12 with a limited grasp of the map here, knows of 2 of the gold locations of Ant-Man, but not the main gold in the back, and Spears obviously already at the ready for the Ant-Man. He is with 10 military, I think that's mainly Spears and then some archers to complement it, as he's moving forward with a Scout and a Spear here as well. Quick bolts incomplete, so that seems risky here for the Ant-Man, but just a small tile away fixes that one and good to go. Woodline safe. Looking at army numbers though, Ant-Man with superior numbers, but how does he contest scouts with forging and skirmishes here with Vikings, archers and spears? Not an easy task, as the skirmishers counter basically everything Ant-Man has on the field right now. So I love the army composition of AR12, that free forging is paying off as well. He could even challenge the... I mean, this AR12 takes out the spearmen of the Ant-Man. He could also try and challenge the archers with his scouts here, because they have a little bit of an extra attack output. 45 HP against 30 HP, right? And no armor on the archers. Should be a fight that the scouts could potentially take. Chilling out on the hill here though. There's a hill right in the middle of the 2 players. A little bit of wood maybe to be fought for later. We'll see how far these games go though. It's going to be... they're sort of jumping straight into the micromanagement here between the players, because it's Empire Wars and you start in the feudal age with 27 populations on farms and everything. And look at AR12's farming eco extending rapidly here. Same with Vikings actually, they seem to be pretty evenly matched here. And keeping better up with the consistent villager production actually. Is with the 3 villagers lead here. AR12 focusing more on the micro, and I was going to say he had the army lead, but doesn't really have that either. But AR12's farms investment pays off, and the actual composition he's going for. He's going to the cast stage, will be the first one to the cast stage, but just a slight head start over Ant-Man, who is going 10% slower, so to speak, up to the next stage. pulling the army to the side here. Ant-Man hiding them away is going to hide them away until he reaches the castle age, can get to crossbows here, and Bodkin preferably. He has the defense as well. That's good to have, considering some scouts on the field that will have iron forging for free as well in the next stage. And I thought Ant-Man was going to chase, hide away here, but actually he's going in for the kills here on AR12. Not aware of an amount of skirmishers on the hill here, which could be really hurtful. So, Vikings archers being chased by skirms here. Ant-Man is really lacking something against enemy skirms here. He has the stable, but as far as I know, he doesn't have any mounted units yet, so he can't really respond to these skirms. Trying a bit of hit and run though, working out to some extent. Now the armor is in on the skirms as well, if it wasn't already. Has the heal now, but did lose some numbers. Will be fewer units to actually upgrade into crossbows here, but here comes another wave of units. Ant-Man with a strong eco, as expected for Vikings, going into the castle age here with slightly more villagers. Come to think of it, this villager difference between Ant-Man and AR12 has to be AR12 going into wheelbarrow in the fuel age. I'm just going to double check that quickly in the middle of everything here. Where's the TC? Wheelbarrow indeed. So that research time is why AR12 is villagers behind. It's not idle time at all, it's just the fact that AR12 took the time to research wheelbarrow before going castle age. So my bad there. Now it's AR12 taking the hill again. He has +2 on the knights, +1 defense as well. Now only missing 1 defense, and he's going to be just fine here. Ant-Man with slight military lead here, getting a pretty early ballistics as well, but that's justified by Vikings eco here. Also extending into another fantastic TC here, covering both stone and gold. That's a great pile of resources there in the back. But there's back gold for AR12 as well, so even if the main gold is forward, there's a gold in the back to flee to later on. Elite Skirm in for AR12, good measure against Ant-Man's crossbow masses here. There is a siege workshop for Ant-Man though, maybe wants to go into a mangonel or scorpions here, depending on whatever is the more efficient solution here. Scorpions slightly more mobile, but both are pretty slow units, so maybe it's going to be the mangonels here after all. Villagers queued up only from 1 TC though, so but here we go, adjusting that one for Ant-Man. Now going forward with the crossbows here, looking for a place to hit. This will at some point be an overchop, but still a bit far away. TC will limit archers' aggression here though. Garrison here for AR12, and he kills off 2 archers just like that. Or crossbows, rather. Monks in the mix for the Ant-Man, that makes sense. There's a little wave of knights on the field from AR12, but he's chasing this crossbow mass now. Military numbers totally even here now. AR12 actually having taken the villager lead has had a bit more efficient triple TC boom here, as Ant-Man is dropping his 3rd TC right now, but Ant-Man has that tank card for free, so he has a bit better gathering rate after all. Total army here, AR12 with 24, Ant-Man with now 26, so he's committing to some more archers as home as expected. Ant-Man, AR12 has the heal though with these 5 knights, and they're out of sight for the Ant-Man. He's going to see them just now. May need to wait for +2 to kick in to take the fight though, but that's right around the corner. AR12 could get a great trade here and traps in Ant-Man's crossbows just like that with knights and skirms and everything. That's so important fight for AR12 here now, diminishing the crossbow numbers, and now suddenly with a 10 military lead over Ant-Man. So walling to the side here, Ant-Man usually walls off and booms, but that's a bit tougher in Empire Wars with the high-paced playstyle it is. Some spears chasing here, not going to really do much here. Why doesn't Ant-Man go into pikemen? He certainly has the eco for it. Might be disposing them otherwise. Going into a couple of monks here, maybe to contest some relics as well. But there's an opening here, so walls absolutely not complete for the Ant-Man here. And AR12 finds an easy way in, has knights left and right, 8 knights total, +2 on them, and also a 10 military lead overall. Knights and skirms so deadly against the Vikings when your Vikings aren't allowed to mass the appropriate numbers. Still a chance for the Ant-Man to go for the earlier Imperial Age and the power spike that will lead to, though, because there's a 500 good resource income overall, not getting too idle too much from the pressure here. These mangonels will go down to knights for sure, though. Almost gets hit on the knights, but finally goes down. That's 2 mangonels down for nothing. Bad trade for Ant-Man there. Might have gotten some skirms, but I'm sure AR12 is happy with the trade nevertheless. Looking at the walls here, houses and palisades, university as well for the Ant-Man. And what's the eco situation like now? Still a little bit more resources for the Ant-Man, but and also its production seems stronger. That's Vikings eco for Empire Wars there. Tries to force the defensive castle now. I don't think AR12 will stop that unless he has enough knights here to justify an engagement. 12 knights total. So only 5 villagers building though, but they could garrison inside the town center, no problem. But the current forward of AR12 here just forcing Ant-Man further back into the corner, and it's AR12 gaining map control as this progresses like this. So looking at the numbers again, 27 to 21 military here now for AR12, and keeps adding out skirmishers as well, has all of the appropriate upgrades for Castle Age. Would benefit from more masses, though. I think there's still only one range supplying skirms here for AR12. But overall military numbers, AR12 keeping the lead here. Tries to get some crossbow pickups before the castle actually goes up here, but for the first time a bad run in here for AR12, going to lose some knights numbers to castle fire here. Ballistics obviously in for the Ant-Man, make sure that the castle gets some great hits in, and the trades are suddenly a bit more even in terms of army numbers here. Another castle for the Ant-Man, so some very resilient defensive play here. Another castle right next to Theseus, protecting some needed wood lines here. This wood line would benefit more from a castle though, maybe over here to save the woods here, but it prevents raids, so that's certainly the idea here for the Ant-Man. So 5 knights chasing here, some skirms on the hill again. We'll get some pickoffs from the hill here. No chance for the crossbows to chase here. Villager numbers pretty even, both players in the castle age. But look at Ant-Man's eco. He has the castle. He either just needs to wait for 130 more food, or you could just buy 100 food now and go to the Imp. But he didn't have the market, so no buying. Buying is not an option here. Nevertheless, it's going to be an earlier Imperial Age for the Ant-Man. Let's look at AR12's eco in comparison here. Not too far off at all, floating extreme amounts of gold here. But other than that, it's going to keep up, and here comes the Imperial Age click for AR12 as well, provided that the buildings are in place, and they are. Spears to deal with the skirmishers to deal with the spearmen, no problem. AR12 wants to go for a forward castle as well. To go for the Trebors from the hill here. I love that he's taking the hill here to have a fallback point for the skirmishers and knights here, and we'll have this castle within range from the hill as well. Alright, skirmisher numbers a bit too small, but it is enough to buy time for this castle to go up as well. Great strategic position here for the AR12 to keep it up, and 2 siege workshops going up here. Going to get some capped rams out there to soak some archer fire and leave the skirmishers in a better spot to get some hits in on the archers, soon to be armorless masses of the Ant-Man there. I'm sure AR12 expects Ant-Man to be up earlier here. It is Vikings eco after all. And another castle on the hill as well. Only missing a few tiles of wall on this side now, with this AR12 who is the aggressor here with the using the mobility of Magyars here against Vikings with their admittedly stronger eco. Ant-Man is apparently Khmer farming over here, but now finally found remembered the mill, so crisis averted there. Imperial Age is in for both players, both getting Bracer, Chemistry for the Ant-Man as well, for some extra damage output on the archers. But we'll be needing something to deal with skirms more easily here. AR12's Knights just loop in here to snipe that Treb. It's pretty unprotected under the castle here. And another Treb risk going down here as well. That's still good trades for AR12, even if it means sacrificing some Knights to get them. So much wood and gold down if the Trebs can be dealt with, but main target seems to be the castle now. Some pikes inside. Vikings only get pikemen. With the unique technology they get some more damage output for the infantry against cavalry, but still it's not enough to compare with what halberdiers would do against mounted armies forward like this. AR12 going into plate barding armor as well. Probably will be considering Cavalier as well once the eco can allow it. Let's look at AR's eco again here. So much gold, has a bit of unbalanced eco here. It's floating in more than 2k gold here. Has a market to adjust it upon need though, and I think he used it to buy another castle if he didn't already mine enough stone to drop one. And where's that next one gonna go? Skirm plus cab is crazy indeed, and especially against Vikings who you know will be going for archers anyway, most likely, and then infantry at some later point. But with civs lacking halberdier, it's just so deadly with skirms and cab. So from the looks of it, for me, Ant-Man seems to be struggling to keep army numbers production going here. He's not committing to Arbalest anymore. It could be that his eco is struggling gold-wise, maybe 9 on gold. He's not really off gold though, this is okay, but look at his eco, he's so exposed to cavalry raids here. Once this castle goes down, I think it's GG for Ant-Man, because if AR12 gets some more cavalry on the field, it's just raid 30 villagers like here, just like that. Look at these panic repairs here. Ant-Man really needs this castle to stay. He has stone in the bank to keep it repairing for a while longer. But Cavalier is on the way for AR12, and looking at the ecos, AR12 seems in a better spot aside from this ridiculous amount of gold that is not really spending here. Elite Skirm's doing work as well. KD, look at the KD for AR12, almost twice that of the Ant-Man here. I almost feel like I'm playing at spectating at fast speed here, but this is still normal speed as per the corner there. And castles go down, production goes down for the Ant-Man. He is with more villagers, but much less military now. Can't repair anymore, would have to buy stone in that case. And losing this castle is simply GG for the Ant-Man. What a first game! Magyars with their mobility seem to have won AR12 this match, and obviously the player's skill as well. Both are members of the Drushina clan, so they know each other and each other's playstyle well, but in the Ant-Man's defense, AR12 is more experienced with the Empire Wars format, and we'll be going into regular random map after this game. We'll go into the Ant-Man's home map, which will be... Well, we don't know yet. He has 3 home maps. He has Golden Pit, Arena, and Budapest. Uptime's pretty similar here to both ages, almost mirrored. Then there's the Villager High. Relic Gold could have played a small role here for AR12 as well, especially for the long game. And then there's the timeline here to close it off.